Valley. Many Americans awoke to the heartbreaking news today that a young black mother, Corinne Gaines, had been killed and her young son wounded after a nearly 6-hour standoff with police on Monday. What was missing from some of those initial reports, however, was the fact that Gaines was allegedly pointing a shotgun at the responding officers as she sat on the couch with a 5-year-old child. Police were attempting to serve arrest warrants to Gaines and a man named Kareem Courtney early Monday. No one answered at Gaines's apartment, but the officers could hear voices inside, including those of children. Here's how police described what happened next.
They could clearly see a female that they believed to be Miss Gaines seated on the floor, a child nearby who immediately began to wield a shotgun around, bringing it up to ready position, pointing it directly at the officers there to serve the arrest warrants. The entire time, throughout the afternoon, she repeatedly would point the weapon at our personnel. For hours, we pleaded with her to end this peacefully. We were concerned about the safety of the child.
Gaines was even filming off and on as those hours unfolded, her young son's voice still in the background as she zoomed in on the rifle of an officer who was peering in the door at one point. And in another gut-wrenching video taken during the standoff, Gaines asks her young son whether he is aware of the situation in which she has put him.
What's happening right now? Who's outside?
The police.
And what are they trying to do? It's charging. What are they trying to do?
They're trying to kill us. In moments, we're joined by Pastor Wesley West and radio host Kevin Jackson on the controversy over how this thing ended and where the story has gone since. But first, tonight, we begin with Trace Gallagher, who has the details that a lot of media outlets left out. Trace?
Megan, prior to the 5.5-hour standoff, Baltimore police were very aware of 23-year-old Corinne Gaines. Back in March, they pulled her over with her kids for not having a car license plate. Instead of the plate, there was a cardboard sign warning government officials not to stop her. And when police did, it quickly got confrontational. And Corinne Gaines videotaped it and posted parts of it on Instagram. Watch.
You won't, I'll be, listen,
honestly, I'm giving you all these chances. Why are you acting
a chance to do what?
to get out of your car with your children?
Sir, you're trying to steal my car. When you put your hands on me, I promise you, you will have to murder me. You will have to murder me, so go ahead and get ready to do that.
Gaines was finally arrested and given a court date. When she failed to appear, Baltimore police went to her home to serve a bench warrant. Police say they could hear the man inside talking with her, but nobody came to the door, so they got a key from the manager, opened the door, and found Gaines sitting on the floor with a shotgun. Police backed away and the barricade began. A short time later, the man inside ran out with a 1-year-old baby and was arrested. Gaines stayed in the home with her 5-year-old son. Police negotiators brought in her parents and a psychologist, saying they made every effort to get the woman to surrender. All the while, Gaines was posting on social media, and her followers were encouraging her not to surrender. Police filed a request with Facebook and Instagram to disable her account, but it took more than an hour. And this is the final Instagram post. Watch again.
What's happening right now? Who's outside?
The police.
And what are they trying to do? It's charging. What are they trying to do?
Police say when Gaines again pointed her shotgun at officers through the door, it prompted the exchange of gunfire. 1 shot by police, 2 shots from inside the apartment, 3 more shots by police. Corinne Gaines was killed. Her 5-year-old son hit in the arm. It remains unclear if the boy was hit by police gunfire or by his mother's. The boy is listed in good condition tonight.
Wow.
Megan.
Trace, thank you. Joining me now, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Mark Eiglarsh and criminal rights and defense attorney Andel Brown. Wow. Mark, that...
All her. All her. Anybody who dares point the finger at law enforcement is either being intellectually dishonest or somehow
really doesn't know the facts in this case. They were overly cautious. They could have shot her right away when they came in and then held back. 6 hours they waited. And when they came in, both with the words that she used, "I will kill you," coupled with the action, not putting down this shotgun, they had to take action. She caused her death.
Andel, do you agree?
In a situation like this, a picture's worth 1,000 words and a video is priceless. Here, we have the police account of the events, but we also had police accounts in the Walter Scott case, Laquan McDonald case, Tamir Rice case, where facts that were reported did not match up once we had a video. When we have citizens who feel the need, like in the Philando Castile or the Alton Sterling, to record interactions with police because the body cameras fell off, they aren't working, or whatever the case may be, it shows we have an issue with the trust and transparency and accountability.
That's not what she asked
Look
you.
at her. This is her with the gun. This is her with the shotgun, Mark Eiglarz. I mean, that's on video.
That's what we're told. That's not what we see.
What?
So what are you suggesting, Andel? Are you going to manufacture
facts? What I'm suggesting is in a city like Baltimore
I'm looking at it right now.
with the Freddie Gray, there should be using body cameras in this case.
They just got the body cameras a couple of weeks ago. They're implementing that in Baltimore.
Well, great. We need to see what happened. That's all I can say. I can't make assumptions like Mark that it's all her without seeing what happened, because I've seen police reports that turned out not to be true once we saw the video.
But Mark Eiglarz, we are seeing. This is video from the moment this went down.
We can play Andel's generic game. I've made it before. Hold on. Andel, we'll go with what you're saying. You could throw out that generic comment all day long. We never know because we weren't there. We haven't seen reports, and sometimes reports are wrong. You're correct. But here's the question. Based upon what they're reporting, are you conceding that this was a justified shooting?
Mark, what I'm saying is I'm not just going to go with what they report.
The answer is yes or no.
When we go into a court of law, Mark, you don't control this interview. When we go into a court of law, we make sure we're very sure before we take someone's freedom.
You just can't say the word,
we go through many steps before we take someone's life.
And
when
it was a hypothetical.
Hold on a second, guys.
The people deserve to see and evaluate whether they're correct or incorrect.
Okay,
we have to keep the government honest.
To your point, to Andel's point, the video of her loading up that gun was apparently from 2 weeks earlier. It wasn't this. This was 2 weeks earlier. It wasn't in the moment that she had the confrontation with the police, who say she did have the long gun, who you can hear discussing with her son on the video she believes they're trying to kill her. And there's a question about her mental state, Mark. I mean, I don't know whether this woman was okay emotionally or mentally, and the police would not confirm whether she had a history of mental health issues. But here she is, just a couple of weeks earlier when she had the confrontation with police. She was pulled over. She didn't have a license plate. She considered herself a sovereign citizen. She didn't recognize the authority of the U.S. law enforcement agents. She demanded to see their authority cards. And this is a confrontation. This is a piece of tape from back then. Watch.
You know they're talking about stealing my vehicle. Hey, Cody. They tell you get out this car or take your seatbelt off. You do not get out this car. Do you understand? You better fight they asses. Fight them. Do you hear me? And they will have to kill me today.
No, nobody wants to.
They will have to. They will have to in front of my children and everything. While y'all burn in hell. All y'all pigs.
Right, so she's telling her child he has to get out. I think it's her 5-year-old. He has to get out and fight the police. That they're going to have to kill her to get her out of the car. The officer asked for her license and registration. She refuses to show it. She demands to see his authority card. He shows it to her. So the question is whether this person was of sound mind, and whether the police, if that is the case, had an obligation to do more to not engage in a shootout with this person.
Okay, here's my take on her. I will defend her right to spew her outrageous and offensive speech, even y'all pigs, like she said at the end. She has a constitutional right to say that. But her constitutional rights end when she begins to resist and obstruct officers, as she did in that scenario, but worse, when she shows violence, when she has a gun aimed at law enforcement officers who didn't wake up wanting to kill anybody that day. They just wanted to go home to their families, and she created a scenario that led to her tragic demise.
Go ahead, Andel. I'll give you the last word.
In this circumstance, it is absolutely a tragedy whenever someone loses life or liberty. In this country where life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness are high ideals, we take it very seriously. So I just want to make sure that in every one of these instances, we have the transparency and accountability to keep our government honest, from the cops on the street all the way up to the White House. That's what the people deserve, and that's what we want.
Great to see you both.
Same here, Megan.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the response we're seeing to the story seems to be largely influenced by the fact that many of the headlines people have been reading make no mention of the fact that Ms. Gaines was allegedly armed and threatening to kill these police. Vox declared, quote, Baltimore County Police shot Corinne Gaines and a 5-year-old was caught in the crossfire. Think Progress, quote, police fatally shoot woman holding 5-year-old boy in her lap. Sean King at the New York Daily News took things a step further, suggesting cynicism toward Corinne Gaines, Baltimore mom killed by cops, illustrates power of white privilege. And now, in a now-deleted tweet, the Washington Post's Wesley Lowery said, quote, every fatal police shooting, by definition, is a summary execution. Pastor Wesley West of Faith Empowered Ministries is a member of Black Lives Matter, and Kevin Jackson is a Fox News contributor and executive director of the blacksphere.net. Great to see you both. Pastor, do you defend those headlines? Do you think those headlines are misleading in light of what we are told are the facts?
Well, I can't say it's misleading. I would say right now there is a story behind it all. Again, after what just happened here in Baltimore with the death of Freddie Gray and now this shows that none of that is misleading at all. I stand behind everything that has been put out today in her benefit.
If you believe that, then what should the cops have done? If they went to this person's house, she skipped out on her court appearance, they have to execute a bench warrant. That's how it works. She wouldn't let them in. They got the landlord to open the door. She's sitting there with a long gun and a 5-year-old on her lap, threatening them. Okay. What should they have done?
Well, again, I think that they said they have backed down, which I don't believe they backed down at all. Here's a young lady, again, who shows that there has been some harassment by the police department. At this point in time, they should have more her family member come to the scene. Her family members actually come to the scene.
The cops called them. The cops called them to come help.
That is from that. Wait a minute. We're talking about. Can I say this real quickly, Kelly? We're talking about the same police officer that have not issued a statement. Why are you giving part of the statement? I need the full statement. I need the videos. Why haven't these police officers had body cameras on them? I need to see this. I need to really see this. Don't tell me what they say. I need to see this for myself.
Okay.
Where's the records?
It's true that the whole thing is not caught on a cop's body camera. They say they just got the mandate for these a couple of weeks ago in the whole wake of Freddie Gray and everything else. Kevin, your thoughts?
This is the more ridiculousness of the left, and it just goes to show why this America can improve, and particularly Black America. Look, this is cut and dry. The police did everything they could to not hurt this young lady. And by the way, the fault goes with a young lady who would have two children in her home and not surrender to the police and get everything worked out, no matter what. They're not saying anything about that. I'll tell you something else that won't be mentioned. The 35 people who were killed last month in Baltimore, nobody's going to remember the name Javon Guy. He was shot and killed by other black people. This is patently ridiculous. America is sick of it. This young lady already had a history of not wanting to sit up. I'll let you talk, so just be quiet.
Go ahead, Kevin.
This young lady had a problem already with police, and it was already documented. She said, y'all are going to have to kill me in front of my kids. What more? Now, look, she probably had some sort of a mental problem. Who knows? But and nobody's saying she deserved to die per se. But everything that could have prevented her death, she could have done. And for this attorney and this pastor to sit here and to say these things is detrimental to the black community. You're teaching kids hate. You're teaching the black community the wrong lessons here. And he knows.
Go ahead, Pastor.